When you can see the people behind your data, it becomes easy to know what to do next to keep attracting the customers, the ideal audience that you're looking for. So let's break down this report for X, but we support all supported platforms and your stats will vary depending on each platform. So here, for example, we have the engagement overview. We're looking at the posts, how many we did, and then what's the engagements and the impressions. For our profile here, here's the impressions over time, and then overlaid with engagements as well. And then when you put that together, you have the engagement rate you see here. And that's just a metric to know how much potential reach you get based on how people react to your posts. So the more reactions, the better, the more reach you're going to get. And then there's the amount of posts you have here. And then your total engagements is broken down here by link clicks, by profile clicks. You have mentions, likes, reposts, and what do we have here? Hashtag clicks and quotes as well. So all the stats you really need to see. And then you have a nice breakdown, per post here. So you can sort everything, you can filter everything. So you have your complete list of the posts during that time frame, and you can sort it by engagements, you can sort it by reposts, for example. And if you want to pinpoint on a certain topic, this is one of the most powerful features here is you can pinpoint by actual keywords. So go up to your filter here. When you pick your time frame, you can apply a certain content queue to it, for example. So everything that we're posting to our American followers, or if we're looking at the blog, you can pinpoint based on the actual categorization of content in your calendar. And so let's unselect that. We can go by keyword here. I can type in a certain topic, which means it's going to look at just those topics. And then from there, we can see if we're posting about that topic, are we getting the customers that we want? Are we attracting the right demographic depending on the people themselves, the location, the language, and are we actually getting the results that we want? So if you're an agency and you're trying to solve these problems for your customers, and we all know it's hard to attribute the actual ROI to social media marketing, and this just makes it so much easier because you can tell that a certain campaign is going to get a more precise demographic if you scroll down. Like if you filter by a certain topic and you see that the demographic is the art and culture people that we want to attract for this business, this makes it really easy to do for yourself as a small business owner or an agency for your clients. So let's go take a peek here. Now that we're here, you have tons of demographics. You have a breakdown of the follower map. This is all the people from the engagements, and you can even see who they are, and you can take a look, you can scroll, you can dive in here to the state, province. You can really break down as deep as you need to get those answers you're looking for. So beyond the map, you have the sentiment as well for these posts, the engagement by gender, occupation, age, language, reach distribution. These are different chunks of the people that have engaged with you. So these are accounts that are 1K to 10K follower accounts. There's some larger accounts and even bigger accounts, but this is the majority. So this is a pretty cool metric depending on the type of people you're trying to attract, especially if you have services in social media. You can see the engager posts. This is how often they post in that time frame, which is pretty cool. The engager activity as well. And I like this metric because it shows you how lively your community is, really. So what's cool about this is you can export these people that you found here. So we have tons of accounts that engage with us this period, and we can export them. We can save them to a list as well, and then you can further hone that in. So we have a tool for follower sorting, for example, where you can search in their bios and really pinpoint them. So if you go to the sort followers, for example, you can just save those engagers to your list, and then you'll just apply that list here. So there we go. And you might find engagers from a certain time period, and then you can further dive in to different pieces to put them together. Like if you want to look into their demographics or words and profile to see if they're a part of a certain group, if they like a certain topic, for example. So that's the power of Fedica. You don't only just get extra stats and you can attribute it to the people, but you can take those people and you can drive further in. You can create ad campaigns for these people, put them in the list together and analyze them further, depending on what campaign you're looking to achieve. And if you're an agency, for example, this is huge because it's really hard to do something like this, but Fedica has the tools to make it happen. So looking at the individual posts, you actually have all the metrics you need. You have link clicks, you have the impressions, you have replies, quote posts, all your likes, and even profile clicks, which show you if you said something outrageous and they unfollowed you or they went to follow you, check out more content if they found something interesting. And it's easy too. We have follower tracking, so you can go check that, make sure that it was actually people who were unfollowing you in that time period as well. So when you put these tools together in Fedica, you can answer questions that can help push your strategy forward. I'm sure you can see this by now. And once again, if you're an agency, these are the questions your customers are looking for. You have the best words, which I love. You can always pick certain topics, see if there's related best words, and then you can make more posts on these topics. So you can take your best post, for example, like if we go by engagements or reposts, for example, we take our top 10 posts and then we look at the top words in these posts. And then from there, we have a couple ideas. We can, rehash them. We can export these posts, repolish them, and then bulk upload them back to Fedica, making your content strategy much easier to improve over time. So that's the overview here of our analytics page. Once again, everything is exportable. You can save these images here. You can export your posts. You can export the followers or the people who are engaging with you. You can do more with that to improve your campaigns, and you can engage with these people back and say, hey, thanks for engaging. And you can follow them. This is an easy way to put the growth back in your hands. So if you have any questions about our analytics, we're always happy to help, and just let us know.